everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Christine, a registered psychotherapist, here to talk about strategies to help improve your mental health. Today's topic is something that I see in my office all the time, and honestly in life in general, and something that I have struggled with my whole life. I have worked on it a lot, and I have it mostly managed, but it still sneaks up on me from time to time, and that is perfectionism. If you have social anxiety, chances are you have perfectionistic traits or perfectionistic thoughts, because perfectionism and social anxiety go hand in hand. If you've ever caught yourself obsessing over every detail, or feeling that nothing you do is good enough, or putting off, procrastinating on that project because you're afraid you're going to mess up, then you are definitely not alone. So let's talk about where perfectionism comes from, how it can mess with your happiness and your self-esteem. But most importantly, let's talk about ways that you can finally break free of those impossible standards. So let's get one thing straight right out of the jump. Perfectionism is not the same as having high standards or wanting to do a good job. It's more about the belief that your worth depends on flawless performance, that any mistake is unacceptable, and that if you're not perfect, you're a failure. Sound familiar? Perfectionism can show up in all kinds of sneaky ways. Spending hours on a simple email, tweaking every word. Procrastinating on projects because you're afraid that you won't get it just right. Beating yourself up over minor mistakes. Feeling anxious or ashamed if you make a mistake or you don't measure up to your high standards. These are often standards you set for yourself. Let's take a minute to get curious about where these perfectionistic thoughts come from. For most, you're not born with them. You start to develop them along the way. It's something that you pick up, right? Remember, I've done videos or podcasts on the messages that we receive as children, and those can be verbal or nonverbal, and you may pick up some perfectionistic thoughts from what the messages you receive. And here are a few. So here's some roots as to why. Family expectations. Maybe you grew up in a home where only A+ was good enough, or mistakes were not tolerated. That's the message you received. School and society. We live in a society that celebrates achievements and winners. And social media can lead us to believe that everyone else is nailing life 24/7. Self-worth tied to achievement. Sometimes, especially if you were praised mostly for your accomplishments, you can start to believe that you have to be perfect to be valued. Fear of criticism or rejection. If you have ever been harshly criticized or rejected, you may try to avoid that pain by being perfect, aiming for that perfection so there's nothing that can be criticized. Does any of this ring true to you? If it does, as I said, you are absolutely not alone. Now, I want to be absolutely honest about this. Perfectionism isn't about working hard or caring a lot. It actually gets in the way of your happiness and your self-esteem, and here's why. It's exhausting. You never get to feel done or proud of your work because there's always something that can be improved. It fuels procrastination. You might put things off because they either seem too overwhelming or you're afraid you're going to mess up. It won't be done well enough. It hurts relationships. You may hold others to high standards or higher standards, or you may withdraw, pull away because you're afraid someone will see your flaws. It erodes self-esteem. If you only focus on your flaws, you miss out on the opportunities to see your strengths, to see your growth. It sucks the joy out of life. If you are always chasing perfect, you miss out on experiencing the joy of all the good stuff you've already got. All right, now for the good news. Perfectionism is something that you can challenge and you can change. These are all strategies I'm going to teach you that I use myself to manage my perfectionistic beliefs, behaviors, and my behaviors associated with social anxiety. So I want to share some cognitive behavior therapy tools and strategies that really work. These are practical tools that you can start using today. The first thing I want you to do is to notice your perfectionistic triggers. Most of us have certain tasks or situations that kick perfectionism into high gear. Maybe it's public speaking, starting a project, performance type things, that was mine, or hosting things and wanting everything to be perfect. Even posting on social media. Recognize your triggers. Take a few minutes to jot down when you notice these perfectionistic thoughts. So ask yourself these 3 questions. What are you doing? So as soon as you notice the trigger, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Those are the 3 questions. CBT, Cognitive Behavior Therapy, is about how our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors are all connected. So ask yourself, perfectionistic trigger, what am I thinking? What am I doing? What am I feeling? Self-awareness is the first step. Number 2, separate your worth from your performance. Try this experiment, okay? Imagine someone you care deeply about. Would you only love or value them if they were perfect? Of course not. Turn that compassion around to yourself. Remind yourself, my worth is not determined by my achievements or my mistakes. Number 3, challenge all or nothing thinking. With perfectionism, this is the biggest cognitive distortion. I'm either a total success or I'm a total failure. I either get high 90s, 100%, or I'm a failure. But real life isn't like that. Real life has so many shades of gray. It's not all or nothing, right or wrong, black or white. Next time you catch yourself thinking, I messed up, I am a total disaster, pause and ask yourself, is there evidence to show a more balanced view of this? Maybe you did great on most of the things and you made a small mistake. That's normal. Examine it. Look for the evidence. Look for the facts. Perfectionism can rule out all of the positive stuff. It can rule out the achievements and hone in on the mistake, even if it's a tiny mistake. Making mistakes are normal. Number 4, practice good enough. This one's tough. This one's really tough for someone with perfectionistic thinking. It is powerful though when you can do it, and it takes practice. Trust me, I do it now. What I often say to my clients is, let's learn the art of half-assing it, okay? Because for a person with perfectionistic thinking, a perfectionist, you're half-assing it, you're good enough is somebody else's perfect, right? Not that perfection actually exists, but in there, it's what you believe it to be, right? So when you finish a task, ask yourself, is it good enough to get the job done, okay? Is it good enough to get the job done? Often when I have clients in my office that say, they've asked people in the house to do jobs or do whatever, and then they go around and they fix it, or they move things around, or they change it, or complain about it, I often say to them, did you want the job done or did you want it perfectly? And they always say, I just wanted them to do the job. Okay, that's what they did. All right. So is this good enough to get the job done? If the answer is yes, let it go, even if it's not perfect. It does get easier the more you do it. All right. At first, it's going to be really hard to adapt to that kind of thinking. So number 5, embrace mistakes as opportunities. We learn from our mistakes. Try reframing your mistakes as a learning opportunity. What can you take away from the experience? If a friend made the same mistake, would you tell them they were a failure? Remind yourself when you make a mistake, this is not a failure. This is a learning opportunity. I'm not going to make that mistake again, especially if you're a perfectionist. You won't. So remind yourself, I'm going to learn how to do it the right way so I don't feel this way again, if that's what you have to use. But understanding that it is good enough. Number 6, set realistic goals, but let them be flexible. So set realistic, flexible goals. Instead of aiming for never make a mistake, shoot for keep learning and growing and improving. Break big goals into smaller, more manageable goals or steps. Celebrate progress, not just perfect moments or perfect outcomes. Number 7, limit social comparisons. It's so easy to believe or see that everyone else has it all together, especially on social media. But remember, people usually only show their highlight reels, not their behind the scenes struggles or messiness. Focus on your own journey and not somebody else's filtered moments or filtered version. Remember that what you see on social media is one moment in time. It's one snippet. That person could have been arguing. They could have been ignoring each other. I saw a video once where the couple was at a sporting event. The gentleman was watching the game. She was tapping him, wanting a selfie. He was like, no, 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 don't want to do it. She kept bugging him. He got frustrated with her. He turned, he smiled. She took it, and then she posted, having a blast at the game with my baby. They were not having a blast, but every person that saw that thought they were. And I can guarantee you that people started to say, what's wrong with my relationship? Why can't we do that? Or the moms that appear to have it all together. Meanwhile, they were just crying in the shower, and then they go on social media and they look all put together. It's a snippet in time. Focus on your own journey, not what you think everyone else is achieving. Self-compassion practices is number 8. Whenever you notice harsh self-talk, try this. Pause. Take a deep breath and say something kind to yourself. For example, this is hard, but I am doing the best I can. Self-compassion is a powerful antidote to perfectionism. Here's a gentle reminder. You are enough, and you are worthy, and you are lovable, no matter what your inner critic tells you. Perfectionism isn't possible. It doesn't exist. Honestly, it's not all that interesting. The most beautiful parts of being human are our quirks, our mistakes, and our willingness to try and grow. Try to make a habit of noticing small wins and things you appreciate about yourself every day, even just one thing. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Over time, this shift just becomes your way of thinking, and it shifts the way you see yourself. One of the most empowering things that you can do is determine what is truly important to you and what is realistic. One of the most empowering things that you can do for yourself is to get clear about what is truly important to you and what is actually realistic. Perfectionism often means saying yes when you want to say no. It means saying yes to everything or setting goals that are impossible to meet. Instead, try prioritizing what matters to you and what's just noise. Setting boundaries. It's okay to say no. Allowing room for rest and fun. You are allowed to have downtime, and you are allowed to relax, just like anyone else. People with perfectionistic thinking think that downtime is wasted time. I need to get things done. I need to improve. I need to make sure things are perfect. I can probably do better. I want you to celebrate progress over perfection. That is something that I talk about in my office all the time. I don't need to see perfection, but progress, let's celebrate progress. I just want to do a super quick exercise with you right now. So grab a pen and paper if you can. I want you to write down one area in your life where you feel perfectionism creeping in. Maybe it's work, school, relationships, even hobbies. The next thing I want you to do, underneath, list one thing you're proud of in that area and one thing you'd like to do good enough this week, okay? The last thing I want you to do at the end of the week, revisit your note and see how it felt to aim for good enough instead of perfect. At first, this is going to be hard. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to be hard to do. And I like to give takeaway challenges. Your challenge this week is going to be to use one of the CBT, the Cognitive Behavioral Therapy strategies from today's video, and give it a try. So maybe it's practicing good enough. You are if you do the quick guided thing I just did, but maybe it's practicing good enough. Maybe it's self-compassion. Maybe it's challenging an all or nothing thought. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. And remember, it is totally normal if this feels awkward. It's hard at first, but it does get better the more you practice it. Remember, perfectionism is tough. You're tougher. Every time you challenge those thoughts or slow it down, show yourself some kindness, you're taking a huge step towards greater happiness and self-acceptance. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, share, subscribe to our channel for more mental health tips, and share your own experiences or any questions you have below. And while you're doing all of that, take care of you.